Okay, hello everybody. This is a work example for sound. So this is the first work example. So in this question, right, you are asked what's the time lapse between the two thunders heard if the speed of sound is 300 meters per second. So basically, whenever you're given a question, you analyze it in such a manner. Okay, the source of sound is actually the thunderclouds, right? So when the sound takes place, alright, you have one sound that travels towards the left, which is towards the mountain range. You have one sound that travels towards the right, which is the village. Okay, so what happens when the sound reaches the mountain range? It will get reflected, and so this is actually the echo, and it will reach back at the thunderclouds, right? But once it reaches the thundercloud, it will continue to move towards the village. Now, so as you can see from here, there's actually one sound heard by the villagers and a second sound heard by the villagers. So the question is asking, what is the time difference between the first sound heard and the second sound? Right. So to solve this question, we first have to find out how long does it take for the first sound to reach the village. So distance equals to speed times time. So we know that the distance traveled by the first sound is actually 330 meters, right? And that's actually equals to 330 meters per second times t1. Okay, t1, where t1 is actually the time taken by sound 1. Okay, therefore we can actually see that t1 is going to be 1 second. Okay, then of course we're going to find what is t2. So using the same formula, but let me just change it a little bit, where time is actually the distance divided by the speed. So the distance traveled by the sound is actually 660 meters plus 660 meters plus 330 meters. Okay, are you able to see why is it that it will be 660, 660 and 330? Okay, so maybe just let me show you. So the first path highlighted in yellow is actually 660 meters. Okay, so from the source of the sound to the mountain range. Okay, the one in light blue is the reflection from the mountain range back to the thundercloud. So that is another 660 meters. Okay, so what happens to the remaining 330 meters? That's where when the sound continues to travel from the thunderclouds all the way to the village. So that's another 330 meters. Okay, so in total you will have 660 plus 660 plus 330. So that's the total distance divided by the speed of sound. So the speed of sound is given to you as 330 meters per second. So the time taken would then be 5 seconds. So given that t2 is actually 5 seconds, okay, if t2 is equals to 5 seconds, the time difference between the first sound and the second sound would then be equivalent to 4 seconds. Okay, therefore the time lapse is equals to t2 minus t1, which will then be equals to 4 seconds.